All right. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're joining us today. So happy to have you. Welcome to our webinar, What's New in Client PSA for the June Product Update Webinar Edition. Welcome, everybody. I see there's still some people joining in. All right. So for anyone we haven't met yet, I'm Rosalie. I lead the customer success team here at Client. And as always, we also have Yanick, our CEO, who'll be running our demos today. Hi, Yanick.
Rosalie, another exciting one. A lot of moving pieces, but I think we're all set up for another great webinar.
Yes, and we also have Natalie who will be supporting our chat and Q&A. So please do ask questions, leave comments. Those really keep us going, Yannick. And so as you may know, and that's our next slide. Yeah.
Yeah,
We
perfect.
were pretty busy last week. Yannick, do you want to tell everyone where we were in case people missed the memo?
Yeah, we've been on the traveling the world lately, and last stop was the Agent Force in London, Agent Force World Tour. So the one of the biggest Salesforce event in Europe, and where we had the chance to meet a lot of our customer. This was the exciting part. We had some pretty cool announcement too. We released our MCP servers the day before, so it was great meeting you all and seeing you all, and looking forward to the next one.
And if you were in London and you don't see your picture there, it's because I forgot to take pictures with the customers the whole morning. Sorry about that. Next time I'll get better, but we got a couple of them. All right. So let's get started with our very first poll. We always do this. So know if this is your first webinar. And I think I've launched it. I don't know if it worked. All right. So we want to know if this is your first webinar or not. All right. There it is. Okay. Now let's have a look at our agenda for today. So 51.7 and 51.8 were both shipped last Friday. So 51.8 is a current version. Sorry, there's a typo there. 51.7 is the one where all the features landed. So you can see client utilities, my deadline, workspace improvement, other interfaces improvements. 51.8 is just security focused, so nothing really to mention today. Um, After we cover everything that's new in 51.7, we will do a demo of Touchy Agent, which we've been teasing on last webinar, so we're delivering today. We also want to talk a little bit about MCP, Client PSA MCP, and then we end up with product roadmap, community updates, as always. Let's get started. Perfect. We see it's just regulars today. Oh, great. All right. So let's start with our very first feature of 51.7, which would be the next slide. Yannick, there you
Yep.
go. Client
Nice.
utilities.
This is something we don't talk so often about, right?
No, no. So client utilities, I think we've never demoed it on a webinar. So let's tell people what's new with this new utility and then maybe do a little recap what else can be found on that page.
Yep. So, sorry, like I said, a lot of moving pieces, and I should have closed out more tabs before. And so, we have released a new utility inside the client utility. So if you go in the main menu and you type utility, you're gonna see that menu here, client utilities. This is usually don't go there because everything goes according to plan, but sometimes you might need to reset some information. In this specific case, we've introduced some billable flags in the past on the time task assignments. And just to be able to roll back all the previous data, if you wanted that functionality, you needed to run this recalculate estimated versus actual from task assignment to project. So this is the one that you would run. It would not, it would just recalculate all the roll up that we're already recalculating. So it won't change any of your data that you might have input manually. It's just going to recalculate our roll up. And pretty much all our interface, the way those work, if you press a button without selecting a project, it's going to do it across all your project. Otherwise, you can just pick the specific project you want to run this on, and it's going to run it. Pretty simple. Just wanted to mention this. And if I'm not wrong, next release, we're going to be showing a new revamped interface of this. We're just waiting for some new stuff in it, but we're going to have a new interface for the client utilities as well.
Yeah, and if you want to know exactly what's included at utility, there's a full detailed explanation in the release notes. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Next.
Next up, a page that a lot of our users are spending their day on, actually, My Deadlines, which is typically accessible from your homepage. We finally gave it a full redesign based on a lot of feedback that we got. So, the whole point of My Deadlines, because people are often confused. So, the whole point is to help you focus on your work based on your deadlines. So, Yannick, do you want to walk us through what's new in My Deadlines in
Yes.
51.7?
So for all your team member, this is really an execution place. So somewhere you go to do your work and see what's upcoming and what you need to deliver. So you can reach it directly from the main menu through My Deadlines. But like you said, we like to drop it in the home page as well. So you can just drop the component on the home page. And this is the new look and feel of My Deadlines. You can recognize it with the different pills that you have here on top that's telling you we're focusing on by default on the 2 days pill, where we have 3 tasks that I need to deliver today. I have 8 this week, and don't look at my past. I have a lot of overdue. I should do a little bit of cleanup of my projects. But what we've added, beside that new look and feel, we added some fields here on top where you could create a task before. Let's do create more MCPs. So this is my task. But as you can see on the right side, there's a search project that now popping up. In the past, you could only create a task without projects. Now you can add it. So if I press enter, it won't put any project. If I add search for that project, I would be able to just put it underneath any of my project that I have within the system, so I can always map. Okay, so this is one of the added functionality. What we've also added is a search. So if I search, it's going to return all my result. When you only have a few, it doesn't really matter. But when you have 749 tasks, then searching is very important. So that search is going to return you all the link or all the tasks that you have assigned to you within your My Deadlines. Another thing, and it's regarding the columns that you see. I'm not sure the filtering or the sorting was already in Rosalie, but you can
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
pretty much everything, every columns. But now as well, you can add more columns into this grid. So let's say I'm adding those two, and if I wanted, I could even add more columns through my field sets. So I think, you still hear me? Okay, I think I'm struggling with my internet.
Yeah, yeah. Field set is the My Deadlines columns. Columns is the name of the field sets.
Yeah. So if I'm going where I'm going to show you, because it's we have some new people in the webinar, so it's always good to maybe some refresh on mind. So to be able to change and add some columns, you just go in Setup, Object Manager, because this interface is linked to task. You go in the Client task. You click on fill set, and then you just need to find the My Deadlines columns. And here is the column that you see, and the order is within the order I've just shown you as well. This is the order where the order is control. So you can add any field from dragging from top to bottom, or just move things around, save it, and then the rest of your team are going to be able to use it. And this works as well on custom fields. So it doesn't need to be only the client field, but it works on custom fields also. Feel I'm forgetting something here, Rosalie? Is that the only thing we had on my
Just
deadline?
that previously templates tasks were included in the My Deadlines, but we fixed that, so now templates are not showing there, which makes much more sense.
Yeah. Templates are
Um,
templates. They're not
yeah,
execution project.
exactly. Perfect. And share feedback if you like the new look, if you don't like, if anything is still missing, let us know.
Yes.
All right.
Always looking to improve.
So Project Workspace. So our very first one, we want to talk a little bit about skills that are now cloning for project templates. So I think that one is really worth an image or video is worth a million words because it's a tricky one to just explain with words. So
Yeah.
let's check it out.
Yes. So we have a concept of skills where you're searching across client. But give me a second. I'm gonna move over here. And where's my projects? Ah,
So if
sorry.
you are using skills, you are using templates, that's one you want to keep an eye on.
So I'm lost in my tabs. Give me a second. Oh, wait. So in that specific project, for example, if I'm looking into my project, have here an opportunity sales process and notification, or actually this one here, opportunity product and forecasting. Let's say this needs some specific skills to be able to execute that work. We have a concept of task skills. So you can see here in my task itself, you can add a task skills. And what it does, it's when you're looking into your schedule, and you can do this in the workspace with the right side panel, or you can do it if you drop the component, you can do it directly on the task itself. But what it does, it's when I'm looking at my schedule here, and if I want to search for resources, it's going to default that skills and certification right here, meaning that when I'm going to search, it's going to only return the resources that have that skills. And you can see first column is schedule hours and available hours. So I can pick any of those resources and add it to my project plan. So the default include that skills. You can add it directly in the object here if you wanted to, but we have also a button here that you can add and remove skills. So let's say I might have one on business intelligence, and then you can add those skills. So when you're gonna search, not sure I'm gonna get any results, but yeah, I get a few less results, but I can now have that search working with the skills associated to it. And what we've done, this was existing, but what we've done is that now when you're cloning projects, so when you're using the project import wizard or any other means, those skills are going to follow through, meaning that your project templates are going to stay intact.
Perfect. And now you're looking at the task page, but also from the task side panel, you have these same
You have
options.
that same schedule.
Yeah,
If you recognize it, this is the same schedule modules that we have across.
perfect. All right. Our next one, this is the big one of the release, the Project Workspace Resource View. And that one, again, without an image, very hard to explain. So let's have a look. Mainly, we added two toggles. So that's how you're going to see the difference when you log into your project. So let's check it out. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in that one.
Yeah, this is a great one. And in terms of what it can do, it's going to help you plan and schedule better. And it's a cross between the resourcing and the workspace. It does work on the specific project, but it also work on the global workspace. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to open up my workspace and this specific project that we've been looking into. You can see we have here a few tasks. Those two tasks we were looking at, there are 32-hour schedule with 32 hours estimated. This spread across a week or so. What we've introduced is those new toggle. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna open up the resource toggle, and right now you can already see that some red is showing. So it's a really nice, neat view to see a combination of your task and your project on top. But here at the bottom, you can see your people, and then you can see their effort. So you can see this one is in red because those 63 hours that are assigned to, I should have had my assignee column. Let me just move it. That are assigned to Ben Gray. Ben Gray is going over his allocated time here. You can see with this 63 hours over a week of 40. So absolutely, I need to move things around. So in this specific case, I could change one of the tasks. I could add some people, or I can just maybe stretch the task itself. And then it's going to update the schedule on top. We have a small little glitch in this version that you still need to press the refresh button, but it's a small glitch that's going to be fixed in a patch soon. So you can see now my hours is getting close. I could do the same with the other task and stretch it. This way, I would solve my problem. So it's really a combination of the project planning and task planning with the resourcing. So hopefully it's going to give you a lot of new insight into your project. So this way you can really spot easily where you're over scheduling your resources.
Yeah, and that one for anyone doing scheduling, those people sending hearts are saying, yes, I want to try it tomorrow. Once you've upgraded, please, this is really one we would like to have your feedback. Tell us like, oh, I used to do it that way, now I do it this way, or oh, it's just missing this and that. Because yeah, we really want to hear your feedback on that one.
And like I said, it does work on the global workspace also. So if I just use my toggle and resource workload, I'm going to be able to see across my different, I'm still looking at one here. but it's within the project that you can use it from here, the resource workloads. We have the same button. Um, so that's the first thing with the resource view on the global on the workspace itself. What we've also added, and for that I'm gonna just remove the grid side. I'm gonna remove the resource workload to start with. The other one is group by role. So here on the left side, now what you can do is that you can group your task by role, and it's taking the owner, who's the owner of the task, so the leftmost resources, the one with the orange circle, and then it's grouping it by the role itself. So you can see here the developer, project manager, and all my unassigned tasks. So you can group it this way. And when you couple it with your resource workload, you can also do the same. So now you're going to be able to see as a group of developer. In this case, I only have one resources, but you can see that they would be group under their role. So just another way of seeing your resources. When you have several people with the same role, you want to be able to see their availability or the scheduling or the allocation. You're going to be able to see it clearly from here.
And again, I mention it every time, but we'll do again. You can save all this as presets. So for those views that you're probably using when you're assigning people to different tasks, you may want to include that into your new presets.
Exactly.
All right.
So that's a neat interface. The refresh, I'm sorry about the refresh thing, but it's going to be fixed in the next release.
All right.
The other thing, the inline editing of date and time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now it was multiple inline editing, correct? Is that it? I don't
It's the
recall.
date time. It's another
Date
so the
time,
start
yeah.
date and date
Right.
you can already edit. Yeah.
Yeah. So
In
we have
case you're
other
using
fields.
active.
The next one, I'm not gonna demo it, but for the start date time, you're gonna be able to inline edit the same way as this one. We have a undo and redo. If you recall, you can do Control Z and you can do undo in the in here in the workspace. You can always go back in our legend to find all the different shortcuts that you can do with the system, but you can do undo and redo. And now we're also bringing back the assignee. So when you create assignee and you add assignee to a task, if you do undo, redo, it's going to follow up. This in the past we were skipping it, but now you can do undo on the assignee as well. And then the last thing is that on a specific resource, when you're overing, yeah, you're happy about this one. You have a small, if you just keep your mouse, you have a small X so you can easily remove a resource from a task. So this way you can clear out some assignments directly from here if you don't need those resources to be assigned anymore.
So we saved you like 2 clicks of clicking
Yeah,
open,
instead
click.
of clicking here and having to go here and then remove it, then you can do it with one.
That's our ultimate strategy for the workspace. Where can we remove clicks? And every time it's like, oh, we just remove one here and there.
Yeah. So you
All
don't have
right.
to click anymore.
Perfect. And that wraps it up for the workspace. And then we just have three more improvements, kind of a couple of things to mention. Nothing to demo on that section. I don't know, Yannick, if you want to mention them.
No, so our Jira Time Tracking tracker is gaining momentum, and so we're adding functionality to it. So if you don't know, you can go see on the website or on the community. We have a description. But in Jira, if you're using Jira alongside client, now we can sync, but you can also log times directly in Jira. We've demoed it in the past. So we've added multiple project role. And then we did some change on permission set group, and we're working very hard on the new generation of a Snap creation for mass volume. And I think we finally got there. So this is also gonna take care of all the different Snap generation. And I think in the next webinar, we're gonna mention a Delta mode as well. So you're gonna be able to just snap the Delta and not just the full project at once. Working a lot on the under the hood of the Snap at this point.
All right. Again, any feedback you have, please share it. This wraps up 51.7, but of course, today we also want to talk a little bit about AI, most specifically Touchy. We did say we were going to do a demo today about Touchy, so let's just do it. As a reminder, best place to find information on agents is our agent catalog, so we'll just drop the chat. And just before we do the Touchy demo, I just want to do a few recap. Planning one already live on the App Exchange for a month now. So we have some, again, from our catalog, you can see the full description. You can go on the App Exchange, download it. We also have Tiny and Staffy that are coming soon. We should be able to do a demo not in so long. And then, okay, let's go back to Touchy. That's what we'll demo on today. Yannick, let's get started.
Yes, and this is exciting. It should be released this afternoon on the App Exchange. I'm going to show you how you can get access to it after. But what it does, it's really a touch point agent. The idea is it's supposed to help customer success people, but any project manager as well with their follow-up or any consultant that have calls. So we have a new customer, a Momentum worldwide, and this is their self-onboarding project that we have that Rosalie has assigned them and that they have to go through. And we're going to open up this specific self-onboarding kickoff call task here. And within that task, you can drop our agents, you can drop Touchy, and Touchy here by default, it does two things. It's gonna ask you for, it can help you draft a meeting prep or send a reminder email. So it knows its context, so it knows on which task and which project it is. It can do search. So now for that meeting prep, it's gonna look around and find all the relevant information that it can find. So you don't have to look yourself. And here, what it got us, it's that it gave us an account overview. So how many, a number of case, number of employee, the different contacts I have. But the key thing is that we have insight and recommended action. There's a small risk level here because there's one task that hasn't been completed. So we have one overdue task. If you've seen it in the workspace before, it was red. So the recommended step is that we contact our Andrew Merzilla, who's running that specific project, so we can go through and validate dates. And you can see as well that the signature milestone has been complete, but the attendance of the first webinar is not done. So I'm looking at the list now. Is there anyone from Momentum? So we can mark that task as completed. But you can see that it's going to give you all that information plus that overdue task. It can also look into your cases. So if there's any open cases, it's going to be returned. So that's the first action of Touchy. It's a meeting prep. I do believe it's going to be very useful. The other one is that after the meeting is done, if you recorded it and you get some transcript, for this first version, you need to upload your files, your transcript in the files object, and it's going to be available here. And when you click on it, you're going to be able to do a few things. So either write a meeting minutes or action items or send a following up email. So let's go with the action item first. So it's going to read that transcript again with the context of the task and the project. It's going to find out what needs to be done and what needs to be recaps or what the consultant or the CS agent needs to do. In this case, you can see that all those to-dos internal for you, Rosalie. So create community user and send them, provision the license, confirm permission set. So this is all part of the discussion that happened with you and the customer. And then here you can see that now Touchy is asking you that, do you want me to sync to project task? So it's going to search, find the task and update a task and create new task if you wanted to. So there's a few things it can do. It can sync the project task, post to chatter, save to this specific task, or because if you've seen that task was overdue, it was not started, I can just say, mark this task completed. Again, maybe this is more click than just going on top, but it's just to show you that it can do that for one specific task, but it can do it for all your tasks in your project. So it went in and changed it. So if I'm refreshing now and I'm going back on top, you can see that the task has been marked to complete. So it's really an agent that's going to help you with your project to stay on top of your meeting, stay on top of your touch point, and give you valuable information before. And after, it gives you a breakdown on what needs to be done, but also helping you draft that was the reminder email. But if I select the transcript, it's going to help you write the follow-up email. And you're going to see we even have an interface where you can send that email directly. So it's going to be recorded within Salesforce. Again, same kind of recap that we had before with the proper greetings. Next step for setup, what needs to be done. And then we have an email composer, so you can click validate. If you want to change the text, you can change the text, and then you can proceed with sending it. It got all the email address properly as well. Yep, it should be very useful, and it should save you a ton of click, not just one in this
Yeah.
case.
And then again, because it's a conversation, the first draft of email, you can like say, oh, make it more short, add this or remove this, etc.,
Absolutely.
like normal chatting exercise. And I know this specific call didn't have any like dates mentioned on the call, and like this is where we meet next, or this is the go live. But if they did, then it would suggest in the suggestion, like, hey, do you want me to add those tasks with the dates? Because they would have caught it from the
Absolutely.
call. But yeah.
And I think this is where it's very cool. It's gonna play with your not play, but it's gonna change in your project, so you don't have to go in and mark task as completed. So if the customer said, "Oh yeah, yeah, we did this, and that," and you said, "Okay, we are 80% completed in those tasks," so the agent is gonna first is gonna ask you to do it, but then it can do it itself. So yeah, saving a ton of click. So this is version one of our Touchy that will be available on the App Exchange this afternoon, most likely, for you to use.
Yeah, and I will send when I send the follow-up email for the webinar, we'll include the links to all this. So,
Yes.
all right. So that's for Touchy. I see people are very quiet today, so maybe they're so captivated they don't have time to type in the chat. Next one we want to talk about is very exciting. We're still on a high from last week, Yannick. But our client PSA MCP that we released last Wednesday, so just ahead of Agent Force. We can drop the press release in the chat in case people miss it. If you want to read a little bit what's that about, but we'll just show more later. Before we go further, Yannick, on the MCP, can you give everyone like the plain English version of what's an MCP and what's the difference with agents? Because I think that's a point of confusion sometimes.
MCPs, and just to do so, I'm gonna go on our website. I'm gonna show a few things. First, we've revamped the entire website. So if you wanna go take a look and give up your comments on that as well, don't hesitate. If you go in products and you select MCP and skills, you're gonna have the detail of the different MCPs we're releasing. So we have MCP Data 1, MCP Admin, and Knowledge. Those are the three main MCP we are releasing. And the idea is that you can connect your AI, and the your is important, to Client PSA safely. The idea is that from the outside, you can interact now with Client PSA data, and you can do pretty much whatever LLM can do. So if you ever using Cloud Code, Copilot, Cursor, any one of those tools, you're going to be able to connect our MCP or install the MCP and run it on your machine. And then you're going to be able to connect to Client PSA with your credentials, meaning that all the security rules, validation rules, all those are followed, but you're going to be able to access it. And then you can do a ton. And if we're opening up that MCP data, and this is what the webinar is going to be all about, so I'm going to leave some stuff, but you're going to be able to work with project, task, resourcing, time, and then you can access pretty much every other stuff that we have within client. And we also, to make it, because the MCP is just a tool, there's no intelligence in it. There is a little bit of intelligence, but it's not AI. So we also package some skills to help you work with projects. So you have a project skill, assignment skills, and the time skill that would be released very soon. If you go on a website and you want to see all the tools, MCPs, they list tools. So those are the 31 tools that are included within our data MCP. So this is a preview of it. Next week and the next webinar, we're going to do a full demo on how to use it. And seriously, it's mind blowing. We have now projects that are executing themselves, meaning that Rosalie and I, we had tasks, let's say, on the ID exchange, and then the MCP go look at it, what change, take it, annotate it, create another projects, then do the work on the side, but all with having the product in the middle. So if you are interested in to see how we can automate part of your business with client, MCP will be it.
Yeah, so Yannick did mention it, but woohoo, good news. We decided we were gonna do a webinar specifically on MCP because as we were prepping for today's webinar, we're like, okay, we need to dedicate at least a full 30 minutes on this. Learning from our experience last week, talking with prospect customers and current customers that it does take more than 5 minutes to explain the possibilities because they're kind of endless. So here's the call for action. If you are somehow interested about MCPs, want to know more about, your interest is piqued, make sure that you register. We just dropped the link in the chat. Natalie just dropped it. So make sure you register. We are doing it next Tuesday. So alert, alert, not the same day as usual on 9 a.m. Eastern, because we want to make sure all our European customers can also join. So 9 a.m. East, so that's like 2 p.m. UK, 3 p.m. rest of Europe-ish. So make sure you register to that one. Also, if you are planning to join, we have received a lot of questions from customers on MCP. So please be sure to send those to me or drop them in the chat if you have specific questions. We'll make sure we cover those during the webinar. So yeah, send us in advance. And if you cannot make it at the specific time, because we know it's last minute, make sure to still register. Then we can send you the recording and all questions that were answered in the webinar. So some more information we can share there. Perfect. This kind of wraps up what's new in 51.7. So I just want to do a quick poll. I want to know, we're always interested in especially our product team that doesn't talk to our customers as often. So we want to know which of the new features we talked about today interest you most or you're most excited to try. So I'll just leave the poll on the site. And while I do that, I will tell you very briefly what's coming on our next version. So again, currently we're on 51.8 that was released last Friday. Our next release is 51.9 that should be landing mid-July-ish. So what's new there? Syncing expense from Sage to client, some improvements on the map timesheet approval. Kanban as well is getting a little bit of love. So filtering by assignee, I think is something we've added because we've got a few requests on that. Then on the workspace, we're adding copy paste for assignees. So we mentioned the under redo. So copy paste for assignees, checklist as well. That should be copy pasted as well, which is not currently. We also have Staffy and Timey that are coming very soon. I'm not sure if they will be ready for next webinar, but this summer, at least we'll have some more development. Maybe we can show something. And then more Clara improvements are coming. So Clara, as you know,
Clara being our support agent that you can
yes,
access through the
yes,
community.
we did this switch. I think last webinar we announced it. So now it's a Clara first and then support team after. Again, we already have some improvements coming, but if you have feedback, share it with us. And then the most important that I have here in my script, I didn't even put it on the slide. Maybe people remember, but it's flexible work schedule. That is one that people have
You
been
didn't
waiting
put it
for.
there?
I know I didn't put it as the most important. Flexible work schedules.
You've been asking for it for so long.
No, it's customers. I've been asking on behalf of customer. That was the number one idea on vote. So yeah, that one we should be able to show you on next version. Anything, Yannick, on the list I'm missing or the one that you're most excited about?
It's mass timesheet approval, but we also have a mass timesheet operation that's coming out. So moving things and something that we didn't do in the past. So yeah, I'm looking forward to showcase this. It's a customer request that we've implemented. So very impressive interface.
Perfect. And then the last thing, as always, you can check out our product roadmap on the community and submit ideas on the idea exchange, etc. Before we let you go, quick announcement outside of the release itself. So let's start. I know we have our next webinars. We can, well, I think
Yeah,
that's
I'm
the
not
part
sure
we
which one.
share our screen. Yeah, yeah. We want to show you a couple of new things that we've added to the community. So I think 2 weeks ago, we sent an email letting you know, hey, you can now add licenses from the community again. So we added that back. But with that, we kind of added a new section to the community. And that's what Yannick will show us now. It's called My Products. So again, this is one section you do need to be logged into the community in order to see it. So if you don't see it, it's probably because you're logged out. Yeah, do you want to show us what's on there, Yannick?
Yes. So we have a new website, but we're also improving a lot the
Thank you.
community. New content is being added, so you can also see that we have that MCP data documentation that is available now. The skill project one documentation is also available directly from the community, not just the website. We've improved the release notes section as well with a new grouping and a better visibility on the release notes side. And we're continuously improving the content itself. But the new portion is if you click your avatar here on top right and you do My Product, you're gonna have a list of your client license plus the add button that you've mentioned, Rosalie. So this button is available through my account like before, but we've added up here in the My Product section. And now this is going to be the new way of buying all our add-on. So for example, Plany, Touchy. This is where Touchy is still coming soon, but that's still as soon as it's available later this afternoon, you're going to be able to purchase it from here. It's going to list your product, what's available for you. If you are interested in that MCP data one, you can just click on it. You can select the skills with it because those goes very well hand in hand. You can review and buy. You need to accept our term and condition as usual, and then you can submit your order. And by doing so, it's gonna unlock as soon we're requesting payment, but as soon as you are the payment will be received, you're gonna have a download link. Those MCP and skills, they're both zip files that you're gonna download and run into your cloud. But also you have access to that admin guide and see exactly how to set it up. This is going to give you the exact procedure on how to install that MCP and how to start using it. And so this is that My Product page where you're going to be able to add our new components, our new agents, our skills, and the Jira integration. For now, you still need to contact us for the Jira integration. Eventually, you're going to be able to add license and purchase license from here also.
And just before anyone get scared, this page and all these functionalities, it's a permission only certain authorized people have. So it's the person that usually is like the billing contact or primary contact. If you're not sure who that is in your organization, feel free to send me a message and we can sort it out. But usually it's one person, maybe you want more than one person, but it's not everybody in your org that can do this. So rest assured.
Exactly. So who can purchase? We have it here. We need to have Canada license, and there are only a few people that have that. If you're logged in and you don't have that permission, you can still see it, but you're not going to be able to purchase it yourself, the same as the licenses.
Perfect. All right.
Pretty
So
neat.
website refresh. Yeah, we did put our next upcoming webinar and we've added it to the website as well. So we just knocked down the dates for the upcoming ones. So July 23rd, August 20th, September 24th, and of course, next week we have the MCP webinar. If you click on the link or if you just go to our website, the webinar section, you'll see they're all there. You can register in advance. Yay!
Absolutely.
What
You
I
should.
do want to do is just before we wrap up, I just want to include our webinar feedback survey. Perfect. Okay, so this kind of wraps up our webinar. I know it's kind of the beginning of the summer, so maybe there was a little bit less people today. Maybe people are distracted with the nice weather with the kids. You can watch the webinar afterwards. Otherwise, I hope we see you next week for the MCP webinar, if that's of interest to you. If you have any questions, ask Clara or send me a message. And do we have a hand raised or is that you, Yannick? Anything you want to add, Yannick, as we conclude the webinar?
No, please use our new product. We're very excited about it. We are using it daily internally, and we know how much it helped us. So I'm sure it's going to help you as well. So don't hesitate.
Perfect. And as always, I'll send a follow-up email. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.
Yeah, have a good start of the summer, everyone. Thank you.